In this video, we're going to talk about something that quietly affects the health and happiness of so many older adults, the feeling of waiting. Waiting for that phone call, that visit, or that small moment of connection that makes the day feel complete. It sounds harmless, even loving, but what many people don't realize is that this constant waiting can slowly drain your joy and even affect your physical health. In this video, I'll share 5 powerful keys that can help you build a happier, stronger, and more independent life, one that doesn't depend on who calls, visits, or checks in. These keys come from years of real stories, medical research, and lessons learned from people who found joy again in their later years. Before we start, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Just drop your state or city in the comments below. Key number 1, reclaiming your body, the fortress of physical strength. Let's start with something simple but powerful, your body. As we get older, many people believe rest is the best form of care. You stop walking as much, skip carrying groceries, and let others handle the heavy work because you want to be safe. But over time, those small choices begin to send your body a quiet message, that it's no longer needed. And when your body starts to believe that message, it begins to slow down. When you stop using your muscles, they start to weaken. Your bones lose density, your balance becomes less steady, and your energy levels dip. It's not age alone doing this, it's inactivity. Your body is designed to move, no matter what year is written on your birth certificate. And here's the beautiful part, it's never too late to rebuild your strength. Medical research has proven that even people in their 80s and 90s can gain muscle and mobility simply by moving a little every day. I remember one of my patients, an 82-year-old woman who was terrified after a small fall. She avoided walking because she didn't want to fall again. Her world shrank to her armchair and her bed. We started with something very small, standing up and sitting down 5 times, twice a day. That was it. Within weeks, she felt stronger. Within months, she was walking to her mailbox every morning with confidence. What changed wasn't just her legs, it was her belief that she could still take charge of her own life. You don't need a gym or special equipment. You just need 5 minutes. Stand up, march in place, stretch your arms, or take a short walk to the end of the street. Each step is a message to your body that says, I'm still here. I'm still strong. It's not about chasing youth, it's about protecting your independence. So promise yourself one thing today, tomorrow morning, give your body 5 minutes of movement. It might just change everything. Key number 2, keeping the mind curious and sharp. Now that we've talked about your body, let's move to your most powerful organ, your mind. Many people believe that once they retire, their brain has earned a break. After decades of working, raising families, and solving problems, it feels natural to slow down. You might find comfort in routines, watching the same shows, reading the same news, doing the same tasks. But here's something important to understand, when the mind stops learning, it starts losing energy. Your brain is like a garden. If you keep tending to it, watering it with new experiences, planting new ideas, it stays alive and full. But if you leave it unattended, weeds of forgetfulness and apathy begin to grow. You might notice moments when you forget why you walked into a room or can't recall a familiar name. That's not just getting old. Often, it's your brain quietly saying, I need something new. The good news is, your mind never loses its ability to grow. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's power to create new connections at any age. Every time you try something new, even something small like learning a recipe, exploring a topic you've never studied, or figuring out how to use a new app on your phone, you're exercising your brain. You're keeping it awake, alert, and strong. One of my favorite examples is a retired accountant who once told me he felt like his mind had turned to fog. His daughter encouraged him to take an online history class. Within weeks, he was reading, researching, and sharing what he learned with others. He said, "It feels like my brain woke up again." You don't need to study something complicated, just pick one thing that makes you curious. Learn one new word, one new skill, or one new idea this week. Curiosity is medicine for the brain, and every small discovery adds light to your day. Key number 3, building your circle, the power of true connection. Let's talk about something that touches every heart, connection. Many older adults find themselves depending almost entirely on their children and grandchildren for social contact. Those calls, visits, and text messages mean the world. But when that becomes your only link to the outside world, something inside starts to shrink. The truth is, love from family is beautiful, but it can't be your only source of belonging. You need friends, community, and laughter that come from your own circle too. Loneliness is not just a feeling, it's a health risk. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness can be as damaging to the body as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It raises stress levels, weakens the immune system, and increases the risk of heart disease and memory decline. But the opposite is just as true. Strong, positive connections can protect your heart, lift your mood, and even lengthen your life. One of my patients, a lovely woman named Carol, lost her husband after 50 years of marriage. Her children lived far away, and although they called every week, the silence in her house was hard to bear. I gently encouraged her to try something new, a book club at the local senior center. At first, she was nervous. She told me, "I'm not smart enough for that." But she went, and it changed everything. Now, she has a group of women who laugh together, share meals, and check in on each other. Her children's Sunday calls still make her happy, but now her days in between are full too. You don't need a big crowd to feel connected, just one or two people who understand you. Look for a third place, somewhere that isn't your home or a doctor's office. Maybe it's a church group, a walking club, a volunteer group, or a class at the library. Go once. Sit, listen, and let life around you fill your spirit again. Connection is not about how many people you know, it's about how deeply you feel seen and valued. Key number 4, finding purpose every day, the compass of a meaningful life. Now let's talk about something that keeps your spirit alive, purpose. After retirement, many people wake up and wonder, what now? For decades, your days were filled with work, family responsibilities, and people who needed you. Then suddenly, the phone stops ringing as much, the house grows quieter, and time feels slower. That freedom you once dreamed of can sometimes feel empty. This is what I call the retirement void, when life feels calm but strangely without direction. But here's the truth, the human heart is not meant to drift. We all need something that gives our days meaning, a reason to get out of bed with energy. And it doesn't have to be something grand. It could be as simple as growing a few flowers on your porch, baking for your neighbors, or helping at a community center once a week. Studies show that older adults who feel a sense of daily purpose not only live longer but also have better memory, stronger immunity, and a deeper sense of peace. I remember Frank, a retired auto mechanic who came to see me feeling bored and restless. He said, "Doc, my hands don't know what to do anymore." One afternoon, he saw some local kids struggling with a broken bicycle. He helped them fix it, and the smile on their faces sparked something in him. The next week, he hung a small sign outside his garage, "Free bike repairs for kids." Now, his mornings are full of laughter, tools, and conversations. He found his reason to rise. So ask yourself this simple question: what small thing can I do that gives meaning to my day? Maybe it's teaching, sharing wisdom, or helping someone who needs it. Your purpose doesn't have to change the world, just your corner of it. Because every time you use your gifts to bring a little light to someone else, your own heart shines brighter too. Key number 5, owning your happiness, the anchor of emotional independence. Now we come to the most important key of all, learning to own your happiness. This is where real freedom begins. So many older adults tell me that their mood depends on whether they hear from their kids that day. When the phone rings, their heart feels full. When it doesn't, the whole day feels heavy. But here's something I want you to really remember: your happiness should never live inside someone else's schedule. Depending on others, even those we love deeply, creates a quiet kind of stress. It's like holding your breath, waiting for something that might or might not happen. And when the call doesn't come, your heart sinks, not because you've done anything wrong, but because you've handed over the control of your joy. The truth is, real emotional peace comes when you learn to create moments of joy that belong entirely to you. I once worked with a retired engineer named John who went through this same struggle. His life revolved around his children's calls. When they didn't call, he felt invisible. But when he started doing small things just for himself, walking to a nearby cafe each morning, chatting with the barista, reading the newspaper, something shifted. He wasn't waiting anymore. He was living again. And a funny thing happened: his kids started calling more, not because he needed them to, but because he had new stories to tell. You can start today with one simple habit. I call it the 5-minute joy journal. Every night before bed, write down one thing that made you happy, something that came from you, not from anyone else. Maybe it was the warm sunshine on your face, the smell of your morning coffee, or a favorite song that made you smile. When you start noticing these small joys, you take back control of your peace. This doesn't mean you love your family any less, it means you're giving them a gift, a stronger, happier you. So take a deep breath and say it with me quietly: my happiness starts with me. Key number 6, the healing power of gratitude, finding peace in the present. Before we finish, there's one more key I want to share, a key that ties everything together: gratitude. As we grow older, it's easy to focus on what's been lost, people we miss, things we can't do as easily, moments that have slipped away. But gratitude is the gentle medicine that helps the heart stay young. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about noticing what still is. The morning sunlight on your porch. The laughter of a neighbor's child. The taste of your favorite tea. These small moments are the anchors that keep your spirit steady. Science supports this in a powerful way. Research has shown that people who practice gratitude, even for just a few minutes each day, sleep better, have lower blood pressure, and experience less depression and anxiety. Gratitude changes how the brain works. It shifts focus from what's missing to what's meaningful. It calms the body's stress response and strengthens emotional resilience, especially in older adults. I once met a man in his 70s who started every morning by writing down 3 things he was thankful for, sometimes as simple as, my warm blanket, or, the sound of rain. After a few weeks, he told me something beautiful: "Doctor, the world didn't change, but I started to see it differently." His life wasn't easier, but it was lighter, brighter, and filled with small moments of peace. You can start today. Before you sleep tonight, whisper one sentence of gratitude, not for what you had, but for what you still have. It could be for your health, your home, or simply the gift of being alive today. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it softens it. It reminds you that joy doesn't come from the past or the future, it lives quietly in this very moment, waiting for you to notice it. Key number 7, the gift of letting go, finding freedom through acceptance. There's one last key I want to share with you, one that brings true peace to both the mind and the heart. It's the art of letting go. At this stage in life, many people quietly carry heavy emotional luggage, regrets about the past, guilt over old mistakes, hurt from words left unsaid, or disappointment about things that never turned out the way they hoped. These feelings can stay buried for years, but they still weigh on the heart, draining joy and energy. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means freeing yourself from the grip of things you can no longer change. Life, as you know so well, doesn't always follow our plans. Children grow in ways we didn't expect. Friendships fade. Health changes. Dreams shift. But peace comes when you stop fighting the past and start embracing the present, when you finally whisper to yourself, "It's okay. I did my best with what I knew then." Research shows that forgiveness, especially self-forgiveness, has powerful effects on the body. It can lower blood pressure, reduce chronic pain, and even boost the immune system. More importantly, it clears space in your heart for new joy to enter. I once knew a woman who carried regret for decades over a family argument. When she finally reached out, not to change the past but simply to say, "I love you," she told me she slept deeply that night for the first time in years. That's what letting go does, it returns your peace. So tonight, if an old memory stirs, don't push it away or let it steal your calm. Instead, breathe deeply and say, "I release this with love." Whether it's toward yourself, someone else, or life itself, release it gently. The freedom that follows is quiet but powerful, a lightness that allows your heart to open again. And when you let go, you make room for something beautiful, new moments, new laughter, and a peaceful kind of strength that nothing can take from you. So, my friends, we've now explored 7 beautiful keys to a happier, stronger, and more peaceful life: reclaiming your body, keeping your mind sharp, building your circle, finding daily purpose, owning your happiness, living with gratitude, and learning the art of letting go. Each of these is a reminder that your story is still being written, and every new day is a chance to add another bright, meaningful page. You've spent a lifetime caring for others, working hard, and giving your love freely. Now, this part of life is about caring for you, your health, your peace, and your spirit. Aging doesn't mean losing who you are, it means becoming more of who you've always been, wiser, calmer, and more aware of what truly matters. If you take just one step today, whether it's a 5-minute walk, calling a friend, writing in your joy journal, or simply saying, "Thank you," before bed, you are already changing your tomorrow. Small habits build great strength. Before you go, I want you to make one small promise to yourself. What is one thing you'll do this week to bring more peace or purpose into your life? Write it down in the comments below. You never know, your words might be the gentle push someone else needs to begin their own journey. And if this message spoke to your heart, please give this video a like, and subscribe so we can keep walking this path together. This isn't just a channel, it's a growing community of kind, wise souls who believe that it's never too late to live fully. Remember, your best years aren't behind you, they're waiting right here, in front of you. Be gentle with yourself. Be proud of how far you've come. And above all, be joyful, because you still have so much life left to live. I'll see you in the next video.